The shape of a congressional district may appear to be a matter of local geography, a set of lines drawn across counties, suburbs, and city neighborhoods. But in reality, those lines represent the very architecture of national power in the United States. In the middle of the decade, something unusual has begun to unfold. States that already completed their redistricting after the 2020 census are returning to the drawing board, not out of necessity but out of strategy. At the center of this maneuvering is Texas, where the Republican leadership has advanced a proposal to redraw its congressional map, a move designed not simply to adjust to demographic change, but to capture 5 additional seats in the United States House of Representatives. President Donald Trump and his advisors are acutely aware that his current majority in the House is narrow. Every seat matters, and every margin could determine the outcome of legislation, investigations, and the broader balance of political leverage. To Trump's allies, this redistricting is framed as a matter of simple arithmetic. Move a few lines, shift a few communities, and suddenly the pathway to a more secure majority appears within reach. The concept may seem technical, but its consequences ripple far beyond state borders, feeding into a national arms race in political cartography. The proposed Texas map illuminates the way modern gerrymandering functions in practice. In Houston, for example, Democrats currently hold 4 congressional seats concentrated in the diverse inner core of the city. Under the Republican proposal, those voters are repacked into only 3 overwhelmingly Democratic districts. Districts so blue that they would consistently deliver victories by margins exceeding 40 points. This consolidation allows Republicans to create a new district that transforms into a Republican stronghold. An area that once leaned decisively toward Kamala Harris by 44 points would be reshaped into one that gives Donald Trump an advantage of 15 points. Even before analysts could digest that shift, Republicans floated a revised version that tilted the district even further toward their side. The strategy extends beyond Houston. In Dallas and Fort Worth, the redrawing would erase an existing Democratic district, scattering its voters into surrounding areas while creating a new seat anchored in conservative suburbs and rural East Texas. That configuration would all but guarantee a Republican gain. In Austin, one of the fastest-growing metropolitan centers in the nation, Democrats have traditionally held 2 seats. But by concentrating Democratic voters into a single hyper-liberal district that would vote for a Democrat by more than 50 points, Republicans can convert another seat into a competitive, and in their view, winnable Republican district. This tactical approach reflects a larger calculation about demographic change and voter behavior. Republicans are particularly focused on South Texas, where Trump made notable gains among Latino voters in 2024. By adjusting district boundaries in this region, Republicans are attempting to lock in those emerging patterns. Yet, this is not without risk. If Latino voting trends revert to prior alignments, the newly drawn districts could become less reliable. The maneuver is therefore both an offensive strike and a gamble, banking on the continuation of a shift that has only recently appeared. The implications of Texas do not stop at its borders. The Democratic Party has interpreted this mid-decade redistricting as an escalation that demands an answer. The most prominent response has emerged in California, where Democrats dominate the state legislature and hold an overwhelming congressional advantage. With 43 Democratic seats and 9 Republican seats already, some Republicans argue the balance is tilted beyond fairness. But California Democrats see room to expand further, and they are engineering a new map to ensure that the battlefield remains level. Cold Logic Script Part 2. California's counter-strategy illustrates how redistricting has evolved into a form of political deterrence. Governor Gavin Newsom has positioned the new map as a way to even the playing field to neutralize what Republicans have attempted in Texas. In Northern California, the proposal links rural regions with the liberal coastal corridor, reshaping the 1st District into a safe Democratic seat. Elsewhere in the state, districts in both the North and the populous South are adjusted to make them either more secure for Democrats or more competitive in swing territory. This escalation mirrors the logic of a nuclear arms race. Each party claims that it is responding to the other, Each argues that it must meet fire with fire, and each insists that the rules of engagement require bold moves. The result is a spiral where political geography is no longer a reflection of community ties or demographic continuity. Instead, it becomes a strategic weapon designed to manufacture or erase representation. What is unfolding is not merely the redrawing of maps, but the reshaping of democratic legitimacy itself. The technical process is complex. California's new map still requires legislative approval, followed by a special election where voters must consent to the changes. The timeline is tight, and legal challenges are inevitable. Republicans are expected to contest the map in state courts and possibly escalate to the federal judiciary. Such litigation could delay or even overturn the effort, creating uncertainty as the 2026 elections approach. Yet for Democrats, the act of proposing the map itself serves as a signal, a declaration that they will not allow unilateral Republican advantage without resistance. This signaling effect reverberates across other battleground states. Trump has made clear that Texas will not be the endpoint. He has encouraged Republican legislatures in Missouri and Indiana to consider similar maneuvers, each potentially yielding 2 additional Republican seats. In Florida, analysts anticipate the possibility of 3 seats shifting. In Ohio, between 2 and 3 could be recaptured. On the Democratic side, attention is turning to New York, which with its 26 seats remains a central prize. While Democrats there face logistical and legal obstacles, the incentive to redraw is strong, particularly if Republicans continue to press aggressively in other states. At the rhetorical level, the confrontation is escalating. Democratic leaders describe their efforts as emergency measures to defend representation. Republican leaders frame their moves as a legitimate exercise of authority under redistricting law, aligning districts with voter preferences. Yet behind these justifications lies the undeniable reality of strategic warfare. This is a contest fought not with weapons, but with boundary lines, a struggle where the outcome could shape the composition of Congress for a decade.